Yeah, I always wanted to.
Mm.
And it was there was a shift in my mind I had to go through that I was like, I can do this myself, so why would I hire someone else to do it? And that's the that's the trap of every business owner. My time was better spent on, to an extent, coaching, but also growing the business as opposed to working in it. Welcome back to another episode of Bulletproof Studios. Today we are talking all about lead generation. Now we're going to cover the general principles of how to get leads, but more importantly, not just guessing where that channel comes from. This should cover most businesses, if not all businesses. Well, here's something back to you. Would you say lead generation is different from business to business in terms of their approach?
To an extent, slightly, but I feel the framework and the core of lead generation is probably the same. You just might go about doing it slightly different, but the core of lead generation, I'd say, is the same for every product or service business.
So as always, we're talking about this from our perspective because we are in the midst of building our own business. And over the last couple of episodes, we've kind of explained some of the things that we've been doing. And our next step in this process is all about generating leads. This is a very important step. This is the survival process, because if we don't get this right, then there's going to be coals in our stockings come Christmas.
That got a bit upsetting quite quickly, though.
I know. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What have you been up to?
Had a very busy week last week. Super busy. So we had back-to-back podcasts, content sessions, and lots of stuff to edit. So if people don't really know much about our team, we are a very small team. So obviously it started with me and Dale. We brought in Fraser in May, and we also have Dale's brother Lewis, who does some work with us on the side as well. So I'd still say we're a 3-person team if you added up all the hours.
Yeah.
Plus Cooper. So last week, how many pieces of content? I added all the content up that we edited. So podcasts, clips, emails. We didn't really do a lot of emails. And thumbnails. How many pieces of content do you think our little 3-person team produced in 1 week?
How many podcasts did we have last week? Was it?
Don't know. That's what
did we have 10?
I think we'd be a bit more than 10.
More?
Yeah.
10 episodes?
Yeah. Yeah, we had more
Really?
than 10.
I would say last week. So last week generally could have been our busiest year to date.
Week to date.
Year.
Huh?
Busiest week
Yeah.
in this year.
Oh, right.
Yeah, sorry.
It's like, what?
We've done nothing all year. Last week was our busiest year. 15 podcasts? 16?
Yeah.
16 podcasts?
We had 16 podcasts.
Yeah, that honestly is. I think that's the busiest podcast week we've had since running the studio. A lot of content off the back of that as well. What have we done recently that's got us those leads? We'll come on to that in just a sec, but I want to guess. Pieces of content. So I know alone we had to create a lot of short form content for the clients. We're down at JR Fitness. We had the MTN guys in who wanted clips. So I'm gonna say
I'm nervous in case you go too high, and then I'm
150 pieces
no.
of content. Now, I think 50 is a lot, so I'm going to stay around the 50 mark.
61 pieces of content.
Oh, that's pretty good going.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
So
is that the BHA stuff?
Yeah.
And all that?
So we had 16 podcasts, 1 remote podcast that we edited for someone.
Oh yeah, shout out to Christian.
We had a lot of clips. We had 3 thumbnails, a poster that we also done.
Oh yeah,
Randomly let us through the poster in. But we had tons. I think we had 41 clips. I did add it up. Yeah, so we had loads.
A busy old week.
And I would say the quality did not reduce.
No, that's what I'm quite happy with. I think that's a very important thing, that especially in this whole lead generation conversation, a lot of businesses, a dream is like, and I think I might have said this in a previous podcast, but an old mentor of mine, Jason Phillips, I never heard someone challenge another coach this way. And he's like, I just need more leads coming into my business, and this is me starting to learn about. I actually didn't know about leads until about a year and a half into business.
I think the word leads, it's like, what is it?
Yeah, it was customers. But I remember him challenging this. He said, how many can you take? And he says, well, I can take hundreds. And he goes, no, seriously, how many can you take? He's like, I don't know. And he's like, if I said I could get 50 people to sign up to you tomorrow, could you handle that? And the guy said yes. But he was like, you could handle 50 people signing up, their onboarding process and all that. And he was like, oh, okay, I see where you're getting at now. you know what, I can only handle maybe 4 at max. It's
Mm-hmm.
like once you break that number down and make it more digestible, it doesn't seem so much of like a dream ambition.
No, I
That
don't
makes
think
sense.
so. Like, I think we started doing a bit more content. We've, funnily enough, had more leads come into our business.
Well, yeah, that was going to be, why do you think that's happening? We're obviously deploying some of our lead strategies just now,
Mm-hmm.
very early stages of doing that, but last week has probably a testament to that as well.
Yeah, like we're doing, and I would say we've not even really properly scratched the surface of the content we want to do. We've been putting stuff out, but again, because it's kind of like a balancing act. Like, we've got really busy, so last week we didn't record content for ourselves, apart from this podcast that will go out. But it's like that balancing act. Like, we've got loads of content, so we've got in the plan, like in the plan we want to do. We want to do loads of stuff that we know, bring it in. But then we're not running ads just now. We're doing only organic content. We will look at ads probably fairly soon, but we're only doing organic content, and that's filled our week completely up. So I challenge anyone that says organic content is dead. I can't. You can't say that. You just can't.
I just can't.
You
With
can't say
I
that.
can't. So before we get into it, you know, got a quote that you want to give us?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna like
You're just
weave
gonna,
it in.
are you just going to hit out
I
with
was just
it?
going to weave it into the
Tell us
conversation.
your quote. What's
Well,
today's
my
quote?
quote of today or the week is, I'm just going to take all the negatives in my life and turn them into a positive.
And is that a Gillian Hamilton quote or is it someone
Why
else?
do you keep divorcing me?
Oh,
Gillian
sorry,
Hamilton Crosser, jeez. Well, it's a very smart man said that once.
Are you an entrepreneur?
Technically, yes.
Business owner?
I mean, he probably does own businesses. I don't know.
Who is it?
Pitbull.
Jill's sending me around. I don't know if anyone else's wife or partner does this. But normally it's like the group chat and your friends who send memes back and forth type things. Jill's been sharing tons of Pitbull quotes. Just
They're really like they're
Pitbull
really
inspired.
good. Well,
Yeah.
see, if you said take all your negatives in life, just turn them into a positive. How inspiring is that?
You've missed the trick on Halloween.
I know, I should have went as
Could
Pitbull.
have went with-
I could put my tummy as Pitbull.
I know.
Like a bald.
How's
And-
pregnancy been as a business owner / mum to be?
Good. I think I do get a lot tired a lot easier, but it's weird. I get like peaks of energy and then troughs. Is that the
Peaks
right
and
word?
troughs.
I don't know.
Yeah. Swings and
Um,
roundabouts. I always remember
Yeah,
that one.
like it's weird. Like at the weekend there, like yesterday, I feel like loads was done. Like we had the content session. I got loads of clips edited from another content session and done quite a lot around the house, like the weekly shop and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm buzzing. I've got so much energy. And then today I'm a wee bit tired, but I think that's why. Because yesterday
Knock-on
was
effect.
a lot. But I think it's just a balancing act of
Yeah.
tiredness. But it's good. We're growing. We're seeing how it is. And I think like weeks like last week gets me excited because it's like we get more weeks like that. Build up our client list a bit more. Line up our clients. Get more business in. Like it'll make me feel more confident for when the baby's here.
Yeah.
So we don't need to.
I think it's probably worth being transparent just now because the giving up the coaching side of things for me was always like a safety net of
Mhm.
financial income because it was something I knew I was good at and I could do and I could deploy strategies that have worked in the past to get that client books fuller. Doing away with that, we're at the stage just now, it's like, okay, we have someone else's wages, almost like 2, maybe even 3 people if we count some of the go high level stuff and all that we do. And that's an income that needs to be in. Then we have our house bills and then we have us and then we're going to have a little
Small
baby.
human.
Yep.
To look after.
So yeah, so we're at the stage just now where things are. I said to Jill actually a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I feel like we're so close to like quote unquote making it, but I just wanted to be here just now. And you said that a couple of times as well. It's like I just want to be here just now, but it's like tedious tasks, like web
Stupid,
pages
like,
and
manual
funnels
stuff
and
like linking our CRM system to our accounting system.
yeah, like just
stuff like
everything,
that.
yeah.
That's just not fun to do.
And
but
it's just,
like,
I think that's
makes
just the
life
art of
easier.
business, isn't it?
yeah.
One thing before we get into this topic of leads, though, we are starting to, now that we've got a kind of foundation of episodes that we're releasing, we're always going to do our solo episode, or not solo episodes, our duo episodes, but we're going to start bringing on other business owners. And maybe there's someone that's listening to this and you have a business or for whatever reason, reach out to us because I think picking the brains of business owners and seeing what they've done when they're starting up their business, it's hard because I think a lot of business owners don't things are balancing act. Some will say they're very successful, and some won't see the success that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, the fact that they're still doing it is somewhat a success, because it trumps the other option, which is packing it all in and
Going back to the
going
corporate
back
life,
to
9 to 5.
Employed. So
We're going to have our first guest on. We're interviewing her on Wednesday, so that'll be live next week. But won't
what
say
are we
who
doing?
she
Are we
is.
going to do our episode on top of it?
Don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Probably should.
We'll discuss that off air.
Okay.
Off air.
Okay. Right, let's get into leads then.
Okay, so lead generation. How do you say, where do people mostly get their leads, their clients, their customers from? Where would you say they get them from?
Do you want to do that again?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding on. So most businesses get their leads.
Yeah, where do you think?
We're from?
Where from? Where would you say they get them from?
Facebook, Instagram, or just in, what do you mean?
Where's the main source, do you think, of that most people's clients and customers come from?
So I think for the most part, referrals is the common one. That's definitely within.
I would agree, and I was really hoping you'd said that, because my next bit reflected on that, so I got nervous when you started talking about Facebook, because I wanted you to say referrals.
Yeah. Sorry, we did say this just before as well. You're like, hey, I'm going to ask you a question. I hope you say this answer.
Because then that just puts me off.
Say your bit.
So yeah, I think I'd agree, referrals, because to be fair, that's how we built our business. It was, we had one person use the podcast studio, their friend used it, their guest used it, whatever like that, and it worked for us for a while. Definitely did. But then when we got to the stage where we want to build, we had to start doing our own content, because referrals aren't always consistent. I think that's the issue. You can't depend on referrals coming in every week. It's great because someone trusts you enough to use their service or product and then recommend it to their friend, but you can't rely on that. And I think also the other side of referrals, it's not that you want to choose who your clients are, but I guess you want to get to the stage you are, but you might have offered that customer initially a bit of an introduction offer, because where you're starting your business, you're doing stuff like that, they refer you a customer and you're like, oh, I need to give them the same offer, and then you're stuck in that.
No, I don't think you need to give the offer though.
No?
I would say you can draw the line. I see where you are coming from though, because you almost feel in fact, we've done it with some of our podcast people, because we've increased our prices, and our older podcasting clients, we need to kind of say, like, look, we're doing a price increase, thanks for being loyal to us, we'll give you a couple more months, and then we'll increase our prices. But when they've referred someone else to the studio, it's like, that's our fault as business owners not having that conversation with them. Say, by the way, our prices have increased. They are, if you've told them the price, you're on a lower rate, but we are increasing it, type of thing.
So I think that's just, sometimes that can be an awkward conversation. So
I think I do still stand by though, referrals is a great way to grow, to get more leads. I think the reason it's not reliable is because most of the time, as a solopreneur or a business owner, you're holding back and you're just waiting for them to happen instead of incentivizing them to happen. So like writing a promotional offer to your existing client base. By the way, guys, if any of you guys have a friend that could also benefit from using this service, and if you introduce them to us and they become one of our clients, we give you 1 month off your membership, or 50% off. I don't know what it is. There's so many different ways to change it. That one step there, you'll be so surprised like how much cash is sitting in your business from a lead generation point of view.
I think it's definitely one you still should do. I think it's just not the only or the thing you should rely on. I think a lot of businesses do rely on it. I think it's different from business to business. Like, for example, a sandwich shop, if you've got a really good sandwich and you recommended somebody, you're like, oh, I've got my sandwich from there, that's a bit easier than a podcast. You don't think so?
What? Getting a discount on your sandwich for recommending
I don't think they'll give a discount on the sandwich, but like, you'd
phone up
recommend...
McDonald's here. I've sent so many people to your business.
It's not your
even
marketing.
Starbucks.
It's just McDonald's. It's just me. But like, even like when I worked at Place for People, they did refer a friend where you got $5,000 off your house if you referred a friend. But obviously
property's a crazy one. They give them like $2,000 if you've got a house and you pass a deal on. They'll give you like a referral fee.
Makes me want to go find houses.
I know it's but that's the thing with referrals. One more frame to think about when it comes to the referrals as well. If you're having leads come into your business, this is one I picked up from Richard Dixon actually, out of when I was doing his old Young Entrepreneurs Academy. This was the best module in all his stuff. I don't know why I never thought of it, but I was having general inquiries that came into my Instagram page through the content that I would post when I was in training. I remember his referral one. He was like, if you're on the phone, you've got someone to say yes to you. A nice question to pivot is this: is there anyone else that's that you know, a friend of that you think could benefit from this as well? 9 times out of 10, they say yes. It's like, if you make an introductory and they sign up, I'll give you both a discount, so you can actually get, not a discount, but there's different ways of changing that conversation. And that's a nice way of looking at it as well. If someone is coming in and, like, let's take our business, for example, we're going to be signing more businesses up to some sort of content marketing or whatever it may be. Business owners know business owners, and the strongest trust is already built with their friends. So if they're already bought into buying from you as a business or your product or service, and they have that trust and that leverage, then they could get more people to come to you.
Because
it's something to think about.
Yeah, because it is like the market. It's marketing for you when you're not even in the room. Like it was my mum that was telling me that one of her friends was at a networking event who owns a business, and she came back and told my mum saying that people were talking about Bulletproof Studios. The information wasn't very helpful because I said who, and she's oh, I don't know. And I was like, oh, that's not really good. But it's things like that when you do a good service and people are referring and talking about you, like there are people, marketing's happening for you without even you doing anything else, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yep. Right, so if we don't want to use referrals as the main driver, although it can be, and I think there's a lot to be said on that.
I think if you want a more steady stream of customers coming in, what can they do? Or are you about to ask me?
That's what, right. So ask yourself for that question.
I'm going to go back to organic content. So very similar to what we spoke to last week. And if you haven't listened to last week's episode, we done one on is organic content dead? Spoiler alert, it's not. We went into kind of like how it can help build trust for your brand, build community, help kind of like build authority in your space as well. And that is the main reason that customers come to you, because you're building that trust. So organic content is, in my opinion, the number one way that you're going to get leads into your business.
Well, it's not low hanging fruit, but it's, we keep saying the word, like the modern day website, like social channels. People hang out. People like to be showing or watching where everyone else is hanging out with that they have similarities to them. So if you look at like the channels that we follow, Hormozy stuff, or even if I look at like Sidemen, that sort of stuff, there's like communities that get built, and I watch that from an entertainment side of things, and then the other one's more educational side of things. But there's little sub buckets of where all your attention goes, and if you're creating something that solves a problem for someone, then there is communities of like-minded individuals like that. So you may as well create content for it. That's it's what gets your expertise across. I don't understand the argument against it. I really struggle to. I get where some people can come from. Technology's obviously a thing. The fear of like how to craft X, Y, and Z, because that I'll be honest, that pissed me off in the coaching world. I was like, I'm not making I'm sick of spending so long on trying to get the hook right and say a sentence this way, and it just watered me down, and I became less and less authentic to the message I wanted to get across. So there's that balancing act, but just even getting content out there, I wouldn't say the content we've put out there has been the best the last couple of weeks in terms of the ideas that we've had, but it's a pulse, and it's us, it's who we are.
It's authentic. We said that so many times in last week's episode, but it's authentic to us. And I think the clients that we were working with just now, when we were doing content shoots with them, like, yes, we are helping them script it, so we are giving them maybe a hook, a middle part, and an end, or like a call to action, but it doesn't feel like too rigid. It's still authentic to them, and I think they appreciate that, because the majority of our clients come to us because they say, I want to do content, I don't have time to do it, I don't know how to do it, and I don't have the skill to do it either, like editing wise. So that's obviously why we go to them, batch record a load of content. They don't do anything else, we send it to them. Sometimes we post it or they post it. But like the one we had at the weekend, like we have had this client who was in the podcast studio with us, and then he asked us to come to one of his sessions on site. I'm trying to say this without saying who he is, but his sessions on site, and he's quite a quiet guy, but then once he's actually in his own environment, he totally came out of his shell, and you wouldn't expect, like, I think He didn't feel like he was recording content because we were just there capturing behind the scenes, capturing moments of him actually doing what he loves to do, and then we'll edit that into content, and that's so much easier than having to like think about doing it yourself.
Like scripting and all that. I think that's really where the need for our business model comes into play, though. That's the problem that we've seen. We can, although I hated it doing it for myself, like the art of it and the business side of it, you love like that side of things, of the scheduling, not scheduling, sorry, the research and all that sort of stuff.
What if you were still a coach and you didn't have like the studio side of the business? Do you think now knowing what you know, would you hire someone to do your content?
Yeah, I always wanted to. And it was there was a shift in my mind I had to go through, that I was like, I can do this myself, so why would I hire someone else to do it?
Yeah.
And that's the that's the trap of every business owner. It's like my time was better spent on, not even like to an extent, coaching, but also growing the business as opposed to working in it.
It's the same with like everything. Like we could technically do our own accounting, we can technically clean our own studio and stuff like that. But it's like what are the stuff either we don't enjoy doing or we're not very good at doing? Like we're not very good at finance and stuff like that. So outsource that to someone else. But I think it's going to be interesting. The more pregnant I get, my brain gets more baby brain. So I think by the
wavelengths.
by the end of this pregnancy, I'll be saying one word on this podcast because I don't know what I'll be saying.
No, you're fine.
But outsourcing, like that is part of it. Like people should look at content the way they look at like their accounting, their cleaning, their meal prep, whatever it is they decide to outsource. If it's not something,
it's just a shift though you have to make as an entrepreneur, because it's dead. It's the hustle and grind. We sat down with a couple of business owners recently, and they're doing like 6 or 7 different things, but there is a theme that goes on with, if you look at the best marketers and business owners in our space, a lot of them in the American field, the UK field, the guys and girls at the top of their game all say the very similar message: focus on one thing until you've made X amount of money. And it's right, the more time you're spent divvied up doing one business, another business, one business role, another business role, then the more distracted you are, sorry.
Yeah, because it's even like multiple sites. Like people have said to us before, like, oh, would you ever open up another site in Glasgow or Edinburgh? And it's like, we could technically, the rates would be so much higher, but that's a different conversation. But like, technically we could, but it's like, why would we when we've not reached capacity in this business? Like, and it's the same for other business. Why are you opening other sites when you've not totally maximised what you can do in this one site and learn from it that way? But I feel we went off on a bit of a tangent.
Yeah, I was going to say back to like leads, because the Hormozy's lead book broke it down, and I think he's one of the best that said the kind of categories of them. So we're saying social media. What else did you have here? Or organic content.
I had lead magnets as well.
Yeah, like that goes more drilled down into the specifics. So I was trying to like come up a level, like categorize them. So you got like your inbound stuff, so getting people to come to you, people to inquire to you would be organic. What else did I have? So like anything content related. Podcasting's one, YouTube videos.
Yeah, I just
TikToks.
Put that under, like,
yeah, like social media, like being show. There, I'm doing it again. For some reason, I keep saying sh. I've lost my ability to say s. Word of mouth and referral. So that's everyone that comes to you, and attracting people to you is referred to as the inbound method.
I think like that is something that just helps build trust and makes lead generation so much easier, because if you're doing your podcast, you're doing YouTube, you're doing organic social, whatever it is you're doing, like that is, if someone sees you and sees you've got that reputation and that authority in the space, like it makes it so much easier, because you're already selling yourself without a really cold lead coming to you, and you need to like upsell everything. Like if you've got that content already there, your shop front, which we're calling it on social media, then they're kind of already bought into you and they're a bit warmer than just somebody that's completely cold.
Oh yeah, because they follow you for a reason. They watch your stuff for a reason, because they like something. Maybe they're just nosy, but nosy people can eventually turn into customers.
There's people like that we thought were maybe messaging us as competitors to try and see our prices, and then they actually come in and we're like, actually we wanted our services.
Yep. Other one then, so that's inbound. the next one would be like outbound methods, which is the cold DMs, the cold door knocking, all that
What's
sort
your
of
view
stuff.
on cold DMs?
I
Completely cold.
think it's a great strategy. However, it has to be done the right way. It's how people go about it. Now, how do people? In fact, I'll pull up my Instagram just now because I've got about 7 or 8 sitting in
We get
there.
quite a lot just now from like video editors who want us to use them as freelancers for clips and stuff like that, which is good. And some of the cold DMs we get are actually quite good. I meant to show you one that was a guy who'd recorded a Loom video and he'd went through your old YouTube channel, Bulletproof Mindset.
I watched it. He
did
fucked
you?
up though.
I know he fucked up, but like it's the part like he actually done a Loom video, but he fucked up because he asked he wanted to help you grow your audience for Bulletproof Mindset. And if you just listened to your last episode, he'd see that this is now.
You didn't have to
podcast.
listen. You just have to look at he literally brought up on the screen the last time. So this is my point, right? So cold DMs, you need to think to yourself, like, why is this like really big in the mentorship world? Because the strategy works and it becomes a volume game. So if you cold DM 100 people and one person becomes a lead into your business, or 10 people could become a lead into your business, it becomes a game of fractions and sums and percentages, because those 10 leads, you then have another part of the problem which you unveil, which will be out of those 10 leads that you call and you schedule an appointment with and you talk them through your process, 3 of them become a sale. So that's a 30% close rate on those 10 leads that came into your business. Now, if you're happy with that 30% close rate, which is pretty good in the closing world, from cold to there, perfect. But you might then go, right, I've got one of, when Jill does the phone calls, she gets 6 leads out of 10 closed. When I do them, I'm getting 3. So there can be a skill gap there. That'll be a future episode. So that'll be the next probably problem that we unveil. For cold DMs, like it's an outbound method, but the approach and what people do, it's becoming sleazy because it's just been tarnished, because the strategy is great. The execution of most people that's done it is lazy and
Copy and paste.
Yeah, shit. Because they've heard someone, okay, that works, let me just do it. So here's some that I've got, right? Hi Dale, how are you? I'm an entrepreneur looking to grow my business, blah, 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 blah. That would have worked a couple of years ago, because it was a good form of outreach. Very rarely did you get random people messaging you. The reason it's a problem now is because it's been saturated a little bit. Now, his message is actually not bad, because he's like, I'm helping entrepreneurs grow their brand with short form video content without the hassle of editing or posting. Would you be on my quick call to see this, right? So it's not a bad message, but it's a spam for me. Taking a couple of minutes or seconds to go onto someone's page and see what they're about, and then kind of try to build a connection with what they do, is the silver bullet that will make a massive difference on your approach.
What I'd say is, because a lot of the automations you can use now, like some ManyChat,
yeah.
so they came out last
Snaps.
week. Snaps, wow. They came out, I think it was last week, to say that they've now done an automation so that when someone new follows you, you can set up an automation that says, hey, thanks for following. Are you interested in my services? But it was a really interesting, like I was watching a video on a guy talking about it, and he was like, it's a great thing that we can now do this. It's like, but can we all be in agreement? We don't use it for sales, we use it for community building. And I think that's a great point, because if you are going to use it, don't just be like, hi, thanks for following Bulletproof Studios. We do podcast and content services. Can we pitch to you? Or it's like, that's what a lot of people use it for. Or if you're a personal trainer, I'm a personal trainer, I do X, Y, and Z.
So ManyChat, I think, are bought by Instagram. Like their own,
okay.
So this is why it's like making a big. This is why you see it on Instagram, because on the software that we use, you don't have that automation yet, or it's not built in there. I'd imagine they're going to work on it though. But you couldn't message someone if they hadn't messaged you first. Yeah. That's why you need to get them to comment or all that sort of stuff. But this is like the big thing. And to your point, it's like, right, what's going to happen now? The right way to use it, like you said, someone follows you. Hey, thanks very much for this is how. So. Actually, let's talk about lead generation when it comes to that approach in particular. This got me, I don't know an exact number, but if I had to hazard a guess, in my first year of PT, and even the first couple of months, because I had to cap it and I had to stop doing this strategy because it was very, very powerful. Any follower I got on my Coach Crosser page, I sent them a video reply that said, hi. I looked in their profile if their profile wasn't private. I started following everyone back, but then you'll find that people just like to lurk in the background. You don't know what accounts are real and what accounts are not. So I stopped doing that because I was like, right, I'm not going to follow someone until like there's a bit of a rapport, a relationship built. And then at the end of the day, I was seeing random stuff on my feed that I didn't want to see. But anyway, yeah, so someone would follow me and I'd pick up my phone and I'd be like, hey, Jillian, just, I know this is a super weird message to get, but just want to say thanks for the follow. It means a lot to my brand and my business. I'm assuming you're interested in something to do with fitness or your own fitness journey. If you get any questions whatsoever, shoot me a message. If you're here just to watch the content that I post, then that's cool. I post a lot of free stuff on a week-to-week basis. And I've also got this podcast over here where there's a ton of episodes. Hope to speak with you soon. And I kind of left it at that. Now, there's probably better ways than I could have done that, but see, just doing that, I'd get so many, oh my God, this is such a nice message. I get people messaging me and then I'm helping them in a DMs. And then guess what? They become an inquiry like 2-3 months down the road.
And it is like, again, it's something like organic content in general. It can be a bit of a long game. Like it might, like you message that 2 months later, they become a client. So people are like, no, I want them now. So I'm just going to sell to them. But it's building that community, building that trust again. And we can, like, we do it with a lot of our, like people who follow us. Like we need to be getting better at it just because we had a bit of an influx of followers. Since we've been doing more content, funnily enough. And again, it's not just saying, hi, we're a podcast agency, we do this. It's like, hey, just like, no, like
we're people.
Yeah, like thanks for the follow. Yeah. We're a small business, so we appreciate the helping us like expand, stuff like that. We always do free tips on content and editing, so stay tuned for more. If there are any questions about your business, we'll be happy to answer.
Small businesses, that's the biggest advantage that we've got. Solopreneurs, like you are the brand, you are the business, and that can be a lot sometimes because you're wearing all the hats, but this is a good strategy to go in. So that's seen as outbound.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, that's a cold DM almost. So that's what I mean, I wouldn't fully write it off. If you think of, because I would never in my right mind would I think I would love cold calling people and cold knocking on people's doors. But as I'm getting more savvy with business, I understand.
You're so good at it.
No, I understand the art of the game. Right, so you're cold, like knocking on doors, and you think, how are they getting people to sign up? But the problem that they're solving. So let's be honest. If someone came knocking our doors in our street, right, and it happened to you because you signed up to one last year, and like, by the way, I've got a service where I power wash driveways, and you're like,
I needed it.
All right, cool. I need that. But someone else, when it's just been done, you're like, nah, I'm okay. And straight away you think, like, who's saying yes to that?
Yeah.
And then that's where you start, right? It's like it's literally numbers. That's all it comes down to. So he'll know if he chaps 100 doors, then the average percentage is he's getting 25 customers from it. And then there's a part of the scripting and what you say and building relationship, building rapport, all that sort of stuff.
Do you not remember the 2 wee girls that came to the door and I bought from them?
Yeah.
They
scammed you, man.
Yeah, they absolutely scammed me. But I felt, it was during the summer holidays and these 2 wee girls came to the door and they were selling mystery bags, and I was like, these are 2 wee entrepreneurs right here, like they're using their summer holidays.
Just 2 Neds.
It wasn't Neds, they were like 6
I know, I'm
and 7.
I'm only messing.
But I was like, they're using their summer holidays to make money, like I'm all here for this. So I got a mystery bag and it was one of those Scooby bracelets. Do you remember that? The Scooby.
Yeah.
But
fell apart, didn't it?
Yeah, it fell apart within 2 seconds. But I bought from them because I was like, I appreciate the message that you're selling, even though their mum was probably like, go out and do something.
Sometimes you need to read the room though as well. Like if you're like prime estates, like this is the thing. That would be a method that works if no one ever chaps the door. If you go in an estate where they've got signs up, no cold calling, don't knock on my door, like it just becomes a thing where you're then annoying that customer and then you've got another objection to try and overcome. So like outbound is going to be the method that we're going to do.
Is it industries you think it doesn't work for?
No.
I think, again, it's just the way you do it. Like we've spoke to people before who are ex-clients of yours and stuff like that who said they've been messaged from other personal trainers that basically the way, it's not how they word it, but it's basically like, you look like you need a personal trainer. Things like that don't do.
Like, so let's take that. Like, if I go back into personal trainer and I go, right, what's the goal here? I'm trying to get paying customers. I'm trying to get more leads to my business. So if I'm just starting out, I want to introduce myself and build authority in that market. I'm going to create content, but if it's only getting 2 or 3 views, I then want to start reaching out or go to networking events. Like this outbound can be so many different things. It's just your ability to speak to someone about your service who doesn't know about it. So you're just, one of our strategies is going to be going into businesses.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go locally. Because a nice, easy relationship builder is, hey, so I've got a business, may not know, we're a couple of streets away from you. we do content marketing, but I'm not here for that. I just wanted to introduce myself because I like to connect with local business owners. I saw you were on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Here's a wee business card. I'd love to connect. Something simple, like that's all it is. And the next stage of that is then going, right, if I need to build up more authority and more proof, then let me offer some of the services that I do away for free because I need to get testimonial clients. I need to see am I good at this. So these are methods to get leads, whether you want to charge for your product or make your product free. That's a whole another conversation that we should probably actually do a deeper dive conversation into. So many episodes, so many ideas. But that, when you think about that and when you break that down, it's like, right, the leads part, I just want to get demand for my thing. So if you make it free, you get more demand, you make it paid. Okay, there's a little bit more, less restriction, but then you get paid for a service that you do. So I actually think, I used to write, I was like, I wouldn't like outbound so sleazy, outbound's this, but as I said, the more business podcasts I listen to, the more stories that I hear, like
I think
every industry can make a killing off it.
I think the rule of thumb is just don't be annoying. Like we had one where they kept messaging us like every single day being like, how have you thought of this? How have you thought of this? Obviously not, because you're annoying me. Like if someone's messaging me every day or every other day with a cold outreach, it's just going to put me off completely.
And I'll see devil's advocate to that though. Honestly, we think that, but the fact that they're doing it, it obviously works for some people. Like there'll be some gullible people, there'll be, not even gullible, there'll just be someone who has maybe a nicer persona that haven't had DMs before and they're just like, I'm sorry, I've just seen this message, like, appreciate you giving us a nudge. And it's the nudge part, it's like, how do you follow up?
Yeah.
So the PTs, like, hey fatty, so you're still out, reply to this, like, no, that's a no-go.
You should really be in the gym instead of the club.
Some people thrive in that though. Some people genuinely do. So I think it's hard because you've got your own bias and your own perception that we'll have towards this. But the fact that it's a method that people are doing makes me wonder, well, obviously it works because they wouldn't still be doing it. I
don't feel we're going to go down that route.
What?
Of doubling like the message being annoying.
Well, you could.
No. Do you know what we should try? Like loads of like ones that don't work to see like you know what I mean? Like let's try everything.
We're trying outbound methods that people say work to see if they work or not.
Your contents look shit, you need us. You do that.
But some people would appreciate it. Like see that Aussie cold DMer? The Aussie cold caller?
Oh yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
Like he'll take his top comment and it's like bark at them and see if you can then close them. So he's like, he phones them up and then he goes woof, and then they're a cold dialed business. He says, I'm just calling because we do marketing the best in there. Have you got a marketing agency? Yeah, they're all pretty good. They're pretty good. I was like, well, can you handle more leads? And he's like, well, yeah, we could. It's like, do you want to have a call to see how we can do it for you? And then boom, it's closed.
I feel you'd be good at that. Like I generally feel if we started giving you challenges to do with leads, you'd be able
that
to
should be like another wee extent of content that we should create. So inbound, outbound. You're right there. What else have we got?
Was it you had a wee list there? Did you know?
No, I've only got there's two more that's in his principles that are really good. Next one's paid traffic. Did you have that down?
I did have paid.
So what did you have for like paid traffic?
So I had ads, obviously. So like your Facebook ads, your Google ads, your LinkedIn ads, whatever it is. So this is obviously going out to a new list of people who don't know about you. So
paying for attention, basically.
Yeah, basically paying for attention, but and it can also be social media, but that could also be ads as in billboards or placements in certain magazines and stuff. Not as popular. Sponsorships. Yeah, it's not as popular now, but stuff like that. Just anything you're paying for advertising falls under paid. Some people think it's easier. Some people think it's harder because it's easier in that can be quite targeted with it depending on what platform you do. So if it's Facebook, for example, you can be super targeted. I'm looking at entrepreneurs, business owners who want to improve their content. We can be really targeted with that niche and kind of drill down so it's only those types of people that are seeing it. But on the other side, people might find it harder because you're seeing an ad of someone you've never seen before and you trust them? Who is this random person talking about a studio they've got? But then it goes back to, okay, I'm going to click on their profile. If you've got a full shop front of organic content,
funnel.
Well, not in the funnel yet, but like you've got your organic content sitting there of like content you've already built, that's helping you build trust and be authentic. So again, it's like, how do they go hand
But
in hand together?
that's a funnel though. Like I think people think funnels need to be like overly complex, but your funnel might be, I'm going to run paid ads to get people to click on my profile, and then in their profile they're clicking on other videos, and then there's a call to action, and then the call to action gets them to book a call or inquire. Like, that's a simple funnel.
Yeah.
Lead magnets you mentioned earlier, this is another probably strong method that the Facebook gurus and that tend to advise. Run paid traffic to a lead magnet because it's a low barrier to entry. But even that is becoming a little bit more and more saturated. So it's how do you stand out? And it's not trying to be sleazy or like the worst one about lead magnets, in my opinion, is people just putting together like a crap PDF that doesn't really add any value other than some basic information.
So I think a lot of people think lead magnets are just PDF.
I think they used to be.
There's so many different things. Like, I think we'll probably do an episode on lead magnets, but you can do a PDF on 10 ways to schedule your content or build a bank of organic content, things like that. But it could also be a webinar that you've done. So I done, that was last year, I clicked on a lead magnet and it was about paid ads because I wanted to learn more about paid ads. And when I downloaded it, it was a webinar this woman had done a month ago that she's just recycling, but it was so helpful and then made me sign up to her next webinar, which then I ended up paying for because I want to learn this in live and be able to do like Q&A with her and stuff like that and be part of it. So it doesn't need to be something that you're completely reinventing. It's like, did you have a webinar that worked really well? Record that and then use that as your lead magnet.
Yep. Podcasting can be a lead magnet. You may record an episode breaking down the ways you can get leads like we are just now, and you can run some paid traffic to that, and you'll see out of everybody that listens to that podcast how many again then convert to your inquiry sheet or whatever inquiry form or whatever it may be. And
it can be super simple as well. Like we done a lead magnet, was that last week, where we had a lot of clients that we seen posting their podcast clips, and their captions were coming off the screen. They had overlays that were coming off the screen, and we were like, we're basically saying the same message all the time. Like, you've got what's on Instagram called your safe zones and your no zones. So if you imagine where your like buttons are on Instagram and your captions are on Instagram, you want to make sure your captions are not within that, if that makes sense. And it's just something simple because we know it, but a lot of people don't realise that. They edit their video on a different software, upload it to Instagram, and then go on with their life and don't realise. But we made a template. We got Fraser to explain how he uses it when he's editing. That was a simple lead magnet, and we got quite a few people downloading it. I wouldn't say, like, when you're starting to do lead magnets, I wouldn't say it's always about volume. Don't expect 100, 200 people to download it. I think you want people who are actually actually going to use it and then potentially go into customers. I don't think it's a volume game to start with.
No, but I think making it a volume game, like not making it volume in terms of like try to get more people, like forcing people to sign up to it, like going, oh, this will completely change your editing style, and then falsely getting people to sign up to it.
You've downloaded stuff before when you're like, oh, this can be great, and you download it, and I'm like,
yeah, that's my point. Like, just state the facts and explain what it is, so get people to download it. So, but the volume game would be, right, out of those 3 people, what's that funnel then changed to? Is it they getting introduced to our business? Are they getting into an email welcome series? Like, where are they going from that? Because once they get to the end of that stage, that becomes the volume game. So then it's like, how do we find 100 people who need this thing? Let's get that. And that might be where the paid ads, like, you're then making copies specifically to those messaging.
Yeah. And I think, again, with ads, I would say it's not, depending on your product or service, but again, it's not always a volume game. With ads, like, you see a lot of people being like, oh, I've had, like, a lot of marketing agencies being like, we got 100 ads for our
100 leads.
100 leads for our joiner client. It's like, cool, but how many of them are qualified leads and how many of them are time wasters? Like, would you prefer 100 leads where you're maybe going to convert, I don't know, 10% of those, or would you actually want 20 hot leads where you're more likely going to actually get what you want from it?
Yeah, it's like standing up in a room speaking to 100 people who own a house and have bathrooms and stuff like that, and you're the bathroom fitter. Or would you speak to 100 people in a room who are just business owners? Yeah. Like, there'll be business owners that have houses as well and need that sort of stuff, but let's be honest, you'd rather be just the homeowner, the actual homeowner. Like, probably the example I should use is 100 people with rented properties. Yeah. Because you're speaking, it's like your audience side of things. Facebook and advertising side of things are getting better and better at that. But paid ads are good.
I think so, because like the first time we ran ads for our studio was 2 years ago, And it was we went out, because at the time we hadn't really niched down on, we want to focus on business owners, we want to focus on this. We were like, we want to focus on personal trainers, we want to focus on builders, landscapers. Like, it was so wide who we wanted to like speak to. We were like, we just want to speak to anyone about our services, which was a big mistake, because people filling in our form were like, yes, we've got so many leads. We're getting
You
like
phone them, they're like, yeah, just inquire. I want to know what a podcast studio does. I'm like,
someone
what?
like I phoned one and they were like, what even is a podcast? I'm like, what? Why? And
Why
like this
inquire?
isn't like in our
Somebody was like, you taking jobs, which I respect them filling out, but it's like, where are you based? I'm in England.
we had so
What the
many as
fuck is
well.
going
Like, we
on here?
hadn't, like, I think our target was wrong, but that was our first ads. We've learned loads from then. But like our cost per lead was super, super low, but the leads were terrible.
Yeah,
our
we could
cost
have
per
we
converted
could have then
leads
done another ad.
was
Hey
high.
everybody, we can do this for you. Look at our cost per lead here. We managed to get this for £1.22. Like,
Which I feel a lot of people do. They were like, oh yeah, our like cost per lead is
it's not
great.
that complicated though. Like, see, when you break it down, it can be complicated,
Yeah.
but Google ads and Facebook ads ain't that
I think it's
complex.
I think sometimes Facebook make it look more complicated, so you spend more money.
Yep.
Which is definitely. But
So outbound, inbound, paid. The other one, which I guess can be paid, but it's more the category of partnerships where you're borrowing another audience. So we mentioned like influencers earlier. That's more like you're paying the influencer side of things, which I guess falls into this category, but guest collaboration. So we'd bring someone on our podcast to talk about their business, and their audience is going to listen, and there'll be a percentage of their audience that may like the content that we're talking about. Just like a nice simple way of doing it. Affiliates, getting sponsorships, all those sorts of things is ways to get other attraction on your business. So, a business industry or a business
aesthetics.
aesthetics.
Like beauty aesthetics.
So, let's say there is a common red light therapy mask that is used in there. Then that'd be a good collaboration from a guest side of things. So, or a good collaboration for that business to join up with the aesthetics clinic. Maybe it's selling them, maybe it's using the services, maybe it's the cream. Like, there's so many different ways to dilute it, but more importantly, it needs to work for both businesses.
Yeah, like for example, if I was running an aesthetics clinic or a health and beauty clinic, and we sold products. So, for example, the beauticians I go to sell Dermalogica products, and that's products I use because I go to that beauticians. If I was running a podcast, I would have the sales rep from Dermalogica come on my podcast to tell people all about not just sell Dermalogica, but to sell
buy into it.
Right, how do you cleanse your skin, what should you be doing, what's your skincare routine, and then at the end there's a 10% off if you listen. So that's affiliate sponsorship. It's benefiting my business because people are going to come to me to buy the product, and it's benefiting the supplier as well. So it's like things like that.
Yep, I like
It's
it.
a good example at the top of my head.
Very well
Pregnancy
done.
brain.
Well
what?
done. Right, so that's leads. Anything else you wanted to cover off?
I think how once you've got leads coming in, we'll do a proper episode on this, or like what are the common mistakes you see a lot of people make with lead generation. First one we said was only relying on referrals. Yes, it's great, but you can't just only rely on it.
I would say the top one has to be not getting back to them quick enough.
Having no next step.
Just even waiting 3 days to get back to them. Go do us a favour while you're on the the laptop. I was such an old. I felt like an old man saying that. On the computer, search up the stats on getting back to a lead within a certain time frame. I don't know. Put in.
What are you trying? What is that?
So there's general stats out there that if you wait any longer than, if you get back to your leads within 24 hours, that you're more likely to convert them to a client, to a paying customer.
You talk amongst yourselves.
I talk amongst myself.
Because
No, generally the stats crazy. So it's like, how long should you wait to get back to a lead? Give me some statistics.
Oh, this says you should aim to get back to a lead within 5 minutes of the initial inquiry. This is the golden window.
So there was someone who was phoning in to one of the podcasts I listened to. Hear me out in this one. He paid I think it was his auntie, or was it the lead book? It might have been Hormozy's Leads book that just came out recently. He paid his auntie $80,000 a year, And all her job was that when a lead came into his business, she drops whatever she does and she phones him back no matter what. And it changed the percentage of his business going from 30% close rate to 60. It was something crazy, 30 to 60. What's it saying?
So if you phone back or message back, however you're doing it, your leads within 5 minutes, you're 21 times more likely to convert them if you wait 30 minutes. And that's just 30 minutes. Imagine the businesses that wait 24 hours, 48 hours.
Yeah, we're one of them.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
We are one, like, because we don't, you're doing stuff, I get it, you're busy, but
Getting automation in place, start
because
engaging with
it's
them.
like, if you think, when you inquire with someone, if I'm on my phone, I'm scrolling away, I'm inquiring with someone, they get back to me within 5 minutes, I'm still active on my phone, I'm still doing stuff.
Yep.
Whereas if they phone me back 2 days later, I'm like, who is this? What am I doing? I'm past that.
You're in the heat of the moment.
Like, I don't need that anymore, I'm past it. So, like, or I've got someone new because they were quicker. I've done that before, like, for a cleaner for the house. Like, oh no, you took too long to reply, I'm done. I'm gone.
It's like, see ya.
You know, so I think definitely, like, having that follow-up, whether it is automated. So, for example, when someone inquires on your website, having that automation in place that isn't just the standard, thanks for replying, we'll get back to you within 48 hours. It's having a message being like, yep, we've got your inquiry, that's great. Could you then automate a text saying, could we just find out a wee bit more about what you're looking for? Is it this, or that? Could we schedule in a call? Like, are you free today at 5 and we'll have a call to go through this, something like that? Because if you don't have time to message them back right now, because it isn't like we've said, like, you're a business owner, you've got so many things to do. You've got, if it was us, we've got something to do, we've got a content shoot. We can't say, sorry, we need to pause, we've got somebody inquiring with us, like, we need to get back to them within 5 minutes. Like, it's difficult to do that.
Yep.
So it's like, what can you put in place to...
Automations is in our strength. Like, one of the systems we use is so powerful because you can put automations that when someone fills out that form and someone that does inquire, you can send them a text that engages with them, and that may prompt you to then go, oh, I've texted them. They give you some more information back and you're like, okay, I'm now going to start engaging with this customer. Cool. I think that's... Oh, that was it. What was the question you asked me?
It's like, what are the
I was like, where did that come from? I was just like, how did we get onto that
common
subject?
mistakes? So
I think I would say it has to be one of the biggest mistakes.
I think the other one is also, like, overcomplicating it, like making it complicated for leads to not just find you, but to then inquire. Like, do they need to jump through hoops? Can they not find it on your website? Do they need to? Is it just a DM? Is it like, what is it? Make it as simple as possible, because you've all been there before, where you're trying to buy something, inquire with something, and if the website crashes or it doesn't work, you're gone. Like,
it's such an off-put. I hear you say it all the time. Like, when you're on somebody's website and you're like, this website's so shit, I actually don't want to buy this thing anymore.
I know, like, I stop. And I don't know if that's because I'm biased, because we are, like, in this world of content and websites and whatever we do. Like, I don't know if the average person who isn't in this industry would, but, like, I think it is. Like, we're all very impatient humans now. Like, we expect things quick, fast on our phones. Like,
rapid fire.
Yeah. It's like H&M when I was buying maternity jeans.
They won't call them out.
Yeah. They tried to send them to Nottingham. We don't live in Nottingham
That was
anymore.
your fault.
It wasn't my fault. The
They
website
don't just
crashed.
randomly...
The website crashed and
Pregnancy
refreshed. The website crashed and refreshed to my old address when I'd already changed it. To be fair, they managed to fix it and gave me 20% off my next order. So they fixed it, but that's not the point in this day and age.
Just hustling corporations here.
I know how. I know the corporate speak to get a wee 20% discount. Use Jill 20% for your next order.
Right, we'll wrap up there anyway.
All I was going to say at the end is, like, do you have any, I guess, takeaways that you would suggest? Like, if somebody was still a bit like, right, I need more leads, what would you say to them? Right, should they focus on one lead gen strategy in the next week to start doing, whether it's organic, whether it's ads, whether it's their automations? Should they create a lead magnet? What do you think? Well, maybe that's the challenge we give everybody this week. Focus on one.
Well, we'll update you on what we're doing next week, because we've talked about the whole point of this episode is talk about all the different ways that we can go after. You can't do everything, so you need to pick one. We're going to pick one outbound method and one strategy within that outbound method. It's not just going to do one outbound method and go, oh, outbound doesn't work for us. No, we're going to pivot and make sure that, because we don't have enough capital in our business to start spending money on paid ads.
We don't have an aunt that we want to pay £80,000 to.
Yeah, but if it genuinely, if we have that demand of leads that come in, and then our problem then becomes is we're not getting back to these leads quick enough. then there's a business decision that we need to make to
Do we have a
employ
closer?
someone or have someone in that role, and that's how our business will grow. Definitely.
Side note that we have not mentioned this full episode. Does anyone notice anything, if you're watching along, different about Dale?
It's about time somebody notices me. I feel so invisible
I've
sometimes.
been with you for a week and I just realised he has a moustache.
I thought you were going to open up the podcast and go, I must ask you a question.
Aw.
You've missed an absolute killer of a dad joke there.
I should have done that. I'm really upset. that
I
I've
must
never
ask
done
you a
that.
question. So I'm rocking a moustache now. Don't know if you'll see it. Don't know if you'll see it. I've said
Do you
that.
know what?
Tune in to, I mean, you can watch us. You can
On
watch this
Spotify and
podcast as
YouTube.
well. Yeah.
But yeah, he decided
Do you
he's
like it?
doing. I like it, and I get annoyed at people who make fun of you. I think I'm very protective. Sorry, I'm boring you.
I was going to sneeze, then I just wanted to yawn for some reason.
Yeah, I like it. I think you said it. You're doing it for. It was a surprise. You went up
It was
to.
intrusive thoughts.
He went up to shave his chest,
I
and
know.
then came down with a mustache. I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, and I was holding it. I was like, it'll look really satisfying to like. Do you ever get it with your teeth? Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to pull out a tooth. I just get this like urge. It's like an intrusive thought. It's like, oh, I just want to.
I can't say I've ever
Do you know?
had that. No.
But pulling out your tooth or teeth when you were younger. Now that feeling of a molar.
Yeah, like Elijah was doing it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, it feels
like
so
wobbly.
good. I had that urge. That was what it was like.
Can't say I've had that.
Okay,
Never.
anyway, call to action.
Don't just wonder where your next lead's coming from. Make it happen. And turn your negatives into positives.
I was meaning more along the lines of, if you've watched this far and you like
Yeah.
what we're doing, give us a follow.
I thought you meant. I
I
thought you
didn't
wanted
mean some
me to
motivational
some-
quote. No.
Well, I just
You
wanted.
can find us on Instagram. You can find us at Bulletproof Studios __.
And if you want any more pitbull quotes, then tune in every week because I'm going to have a new one each week for you. Maybe leave in the comment what your favourite pitbull quote is.
I like it. See you next week.
Bye.